of the power outage, right? So, inshallah, we would, as usual, we will read over our lesson again, and we will try to read the whole lesson this time. Last time, 2 weeks ago, we had read the first page, all right? And well, now we're going to read it again, and then we will read the little bit on the second page of the lesson, of the chapter, right? And then we will, as usual, go through line by line and try to understand the breakdown of each sentence, all right? Before we begin, are there any questions? Okay. So, I'll read it again. I'll read the whole thing this time. And after that, I'll read it once more. And as usual, I'll ask you all to read after me, all right? So it's very important that we look at the words and listen together with the words, all right? Let's see. Okay. Bismillah. So listen first and just follow on screen or in your books, okay? الدرس الرابع عشر. الدرس الرابع عشر. المدرس من بالباب؟ من بالباب؟ طالب. أنا طالب جديد. أنا طالب جديد. المدرس ادخل. ما اسمك؟ ادخل. ما اسمك؟ General feedback from somebody. If you all can mute your mics, so that you won't get the feedback, inshallah. Right. Right. So المدرس ادخل. ما اسمك؟ الطالب اسمي همايون. همايون. المدرس همايون. كيف تكتب هذا الاسم؟ كيف تكتب هذا الاسم؟ اكتبه على هذه الورقات. ورقتي. اكتبه على هذه الورقة. الطالب يا أستاذ ها هنا عقرب. ها هنا عقرب. المدرس أعقرب في الفصل؟ أعقرب في الفصل؟ أين هي؟ الطالب انظر هنا يا أستاذ. انظر هنا يا أستاذ. هي تحت مكتب هشام. هي تحت مكتب هشام. المدرس اقتلوها يا إخوان. اقتلوها يا إخوان. الطالب الطلاب بما نقتلها. بما نقتلها. المدرس اقتلها بحذائك يا هشام. اقتلها بحذائك يا هشام. أماتت هشام؟ هشام نعم ماتت. المدرس اجلسوا يا أبنائي. اجلسوا يا أبنائي. اقرأ الدرس يا علي. اقرأ الدرس يا علي. If you're saying that together, we would say اقرأ الدرس. Right? Sorry, اقرأ الدرس. اقرأ الدرس. You put the kasra below the hamza. اقرأ الدرس يا علي. علي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. يا أستاذ حفظت هذه السورة. أي سورة أحفظ بعدها؟ المدرس احفظ سورة التين. احفظ سورة التين. خذ دفترك هذا واكتب فيه سورة العلق. Again. خذ دفترك. خذ دفترك هذا واكتب فيه سورة العلق. سورة العلق. يا أبا بكر. يا أبا بكر إنك نعسان. إنك نعسان. اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل وجهك. Again. اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل وجهك. افتح النوافذ يا عبد الله فإن الغرفة مظلمة. فإن الغرفة مظلمة والجو حار. والجو حار. All right, so I'm going to read it again and you all read after me, all right? So you can read on screen or read in your books, all right? If you look on screen, you could follow the cursor that you should be seeing on the screen, all right? الدرس الرابع عشر. المدرس. من بالباب؟ طالب. أنا طالب جديد. المدرس. ادخل. ما اسمك؟ الطالب. اسمي همايون. المدرس. همايون كيف تكتب هذا الاسم؟ همايون كيف تكتب هذا الاسم؟ اكتبه على هذه الورقة. الطالب. يا أستاذ ها هنا أقرب. المدرس أقرب في الفصل. أين هي؟ أقرب في الفصل. أين هي؟ الطلاب. انظر هنا يا أستاذ. انظر هنا يا أستاذ. هي تحت مكتب هشام. هي تحت مكتب هشام. المدرس اقتلوها يا إخوان. اقتلوها يا إخوان. الطلاب بما نقتلها. بما نقتلها. المدرس اقتلها. اقتلها بخذائك يا هشام. اقتلها بحذائك يا هشام. أماتت؟ هشام: نعم ماتت. المدرس: اجلسوا يا أبنائي. اقرأ الدرس يا علي. اقرأ الدرس يا علي. علي: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. يا أستاذ. So we are starting of the next page, second page. يا أستاذ، حفظت هذه السورة. حفظت هذه السورة. أي سورة أحفظ؟ بعدها. I believe this is supposed to be أحفظ. This is supposed to be a fatha here, right? حفظ. حفظ يحفظ. This is supposed to be a fatha here, right? You can confirm that inshallah. Right? أي سورة أحفظ بعدها. Just excuse me 1 minute here. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry for the kickback. Right, so we're on the top of the second page in the lesson. So if you can repeat after me again. Ya Ustadhu, Ya Ustadhu, حفظت هذه السورة. حفظت هذه السورة. أي سورة أحفظ بعدها؟ أي سورة أحفظ بعدها؟ المدرس احفظ سورة التين. احفظ سورة التين. خذ دفترك هذا واكتب فيه سورة العلق. واكتب فيه سورة العلق. يا أبا بكر، يا أبا بكر، إنك نعسان، إنك نعسان. اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل. اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل وجهك. افتح النوافذ. افتح النوافذ يا عبد الله. Again. افتح النوافذ. افتح النوافذ يا عبد الله. فإن الغرفة مظلمة والجو حار. All right. So we go back to the top and we, inshallah, we'll go through. First of all, I'll go through the meaning of it, right? Just the meaning of it. And then we will ask if anybody wants to read, all right? And after that, we'll go through the grammatical structures, right? Because we have quite a few things here, some new forms of the verbs being introduced here. So inshallah, we will take our time and go through the breakdown of it, right? So first of all, we just go into the translation of it, and then we would ask if anybody wants to volunteer to read it, all right? So at the top, just doing translation first. الدرس الرابع عشر. This is the 14th lesson. The 14th lesson. All right, remember, Rabi'a, it is the ordinal number, right? Not cardinal, it's ordinal. So it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. This is the 14th lesson, right? Al-Mudarris, the teacher, says, Man bilbab, who is at the door? Talibun, a student replies, Ana talibun jadidun, I am a new student. Al-Mudarris, the teacher asks, Udkhul, or rather instructs. Udkhul, this is a new form of the verb that we are being introduced to here in this lesson. Okay, this is the third form of verb, which is the command form. Okay, we said verbs have three forms. One is the past tense, two is the present tense, and the third one is the command form. So this is the command form. Again, we'll break it down later on, inshallah. Right? So this is just to tell you, it's a command form from the verb dakhala. Dakhala. Dakhala means to enter. So the command for that is enter. You're instructing somebody, enter. Okay. So the teacher says, enter. Masmuka, what is your name? At-talibu ismi Humayun. Humayun. The student, my name is Humayun. So the teacher, having not heard that name before, says in a kind of surprised way, Humayun, Humayun, kaifa taktubu hadha al-isma? Humayun, kaifa, how, taktubu, do you write هذا الاسم, this name. How do you write this name? اكتبه, write it على هذه الورقة. Write it on this page. The word ورقة is or ورقة, it is page, right? So اكتب, look at this word here. It's broken up into two parts, right? First part is the command form. Okay. This part here is the command form, right? Uktub. So if you have the verb kataba, kataba, which means to write, or he wrote, yaktubu, he writes. Then you have uktub, write, is a command. Okay. So uktub, who. This who here, it is the attached pronoun, meaning it, right? Referring to what? The name, right? Uktub who, write it. Ala, on, hadihi, this. Remember our demonstrative pronouns? Hada and hadihi. Hada is for something that is close by, that is masculine, and hadihi, something that is close by, that is feminine. Masculine, feminine. Hada, hadihi. So what is being referred to here? The waraqah. The waraqatu. You see? Al waraqatu. So is this masculine or feminine? This word here is feminine because of the tamabut at the end. Right? So that's why we say hadihi. This. Okay? If this was a masculine word, we will say hada. Okay? So اكتبه على هذه الورقة. Write it, meaning the name, on this page. الطلاب, the students. يا أستاذ, O teacher. ها هنا عقرب. Here is a scorpion. المدرس عقرب في الفصل. Is there a scorpion in the class? أين هي? Where is it? الطلاب. انظر هنا يا أستاذ. Look here, O teacher. Here تحت مكتب هشام. It is under Hisham's desk. It is where? تحت, under مكتب هشام. Under Hisham's desk. Okay. المدرس. اقتلوها يا إخوان. Kill it. Oh, brothers. You call them brothers, right? It's always his students. Kill it. But he used the plural form of the command. The plural of the command form of the verb, right? So you have uqtuluha, kill it. And the ha here is feminine attached pronoun, but the ha here refers to the scorpion, which is the aqrabun. Now you might ask, okay, how come we use ha for aqrabun? And aqrabun doesn't have a tarmabuta. Remember we said there are some words in which it is feminine without the sign of the tarmabuta, or without it being known to be feminine, like the word mother. Naturally, the word mother will be a feminine word. The word daughter will be a feminine word. All right. But like a word like scorpion, it doesn't end with tarmabuta. So we need to, there are a few words like this which we need to learn feminine words. All right. So we see here the teacher saying, Ukutuluha, kill it. The ha here refers to the scorpion. All right. Kill it, ya ikhwan, or brothers. At-tullabu, the students. Bima naqtuluha, with what we are killing it with. Right. So naqtul is the present tense form of the verb. Right. Qatala, yaqtulu, naqtulu. Right. Qatala means to kill. Right. Qatala, with an aleph after the first letter, means to fight. Right. So qatala and qatala. One is to kill, one is to fight. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry about the disturbance again. Right. So to continue. Right. So the students asked, Bima naqtuluha. So you have the verb qatala, to kill. Yaqtulu. So qatala yaqtulu. Remember we said when you learn a verb, you have to learn the past tense and the present tense at the same time. Why? Because we need to know what vowel we are putting in the middle of the, or rather on the middle letter, right? Of the three root letters, that middle vowel changes between the past tense verb and the present tense verb, right? So we have qatala with a fatha on the ta is the past tense, and the yaqtulu with a dhamma on the ta for the present tense. Okay, this is the reason we need to learn the two together. All right, so qatala yaqtulu. So the ya is the present tense prefix. Okay, and then of course that changes with the usage of it. So here the students are speaking, so they wouldn't say yaqtulu, they would say naqtulu. We kill. All right. So they're asking bima, with what? Naqtuluha, we are killing it with. Right? So what shall we kill it with? Basically means that, right? Al-Mudarris says, Uqtulha bikhida'ika ya Hisham. Kill it with your shoe, O Hisham. So khida'i is a shoe, and ka is your. So kill it with your shoe, O Hisham. Then he paused for a short while and then he asks, Amatat. 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 Is it dead? Hisham replies, Na'am, yes. Matat. It is dead. So the word mata, yamutu, is to die. All right. So matat is past tense, right? So mata means he died. Matat, she died. All right. Now here, of course, the word aqrabun, it is a scorpion, but it is feminine because we see the use in the feminine pronoun. Naqtulha, it. The ha here is a feminine attached pronoun referring to it, right? So therefore, if you're saying it died, then you use the feminine form of the verb because the noun is feminine, all right? So that's why Hisham said matat, not mata, right? If it was masculine, you would say mata, he died, right? Or it died, right? Remember, we don't have no neutral gender or neuter gender in Arabic. It's only masculine and feminine, all right? So if you translate it, you wouldn't say he or she for an animal, you will say it, all right? So matat, it died, referring to the scorpion, right? Al-mudarrisu ijlisu ya abnai. Sit down. Again, using the plural form of the verb, command verb, right? So jalasa yajlisu, ijlis, ijlisu. All right, so this is the command form. Ya abnai, O my children. So before you call them brothers, right? When he asking them to kill the scorpion, brothers, but now he commanded them to do the lesson, so he calling them his children. All right. So sit down, my children. All right. Ijlisu ya abnai. Sit down, O my children. Iqra. Read. This is the command form. Iqra. Ad-darsa. Read the lesson. Now notice here, remember when we have a verbal noun, a verbal sentence, sorry, a verbal sentence, we have the verb, we have the doer of the verb, and we have the maf'ul bihi, or the object, right? So you say kataba At-talibu ad-darsa. So kataba is the verb. At-talibu, the student, is the doer of the verb, is the fa'il, and ad-darsa, it is the maf'ul bihi. It is the object. Okay? So normally the object would be in the accusative form. And the accusative form normally carries a fatha on the last letter. All right? Is what we say is mansub. Mansub. Right? So we have a similar thing here. Iqra ad-darsa, read the lesson. Ya Aliyu. That's why the dars has a fatha on it. Right? Ali then reads, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge, billah, with Allah, minash shaitan ar-rajim, from shaitan, the rajim, the rejected one. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the beneficent, the merciful. Iqra, read, Bismi Rabbika, in the name of your Lord, Rabbika, alladhi, that khalaqa, that created. Khalaqa al-insana, he created al-insan, mankind, min alaq, from an alaq, or a drop. All right, so Ali read out the lesson, and then he says, Ya Ustadu, O teacher, hafidhtu hadhihi surata. I memorized this surah. Right, so remember, don't forget our past tense verbs. Right, remember the past tense verbs. We have suffixes added at the end. All right, nothing added at the beginning. So we have this verb, hafidha, hafidha, which means he memorized or he protected. Yahfadhu, he protects or he memorized or memorizes. Right? So here we have hafidhtu, I memorized. Right? So the word hafidha means like to protect. Right? When it comes to the Quran and so on, it means to memorize the Quran. Right? So a hafidh is somebody who memorized the Quran, but also literally could also mean, or it does also mean a protector. So a hafidh is like to protect. So when you memorize the Quran, it's like you are preserving the Quran through memorizing it. All right? Ya Ustadu, O Ustad, hafidhtu, I memorize hadhihi surata, this surah. Right? So the object of the sentence, right, is hadhihi surata. So therefore you see the fatha on the tarmabuta. Okay? Ayya suratin, which surah? Ahfadhu. There's supposed to be a fatha on the fa in the middle. All right? Because it's hafidha yahfadu. So the fa takes a fatha. Okay? So this is a mistake here. Ayya suratin ahfadhu ba'daha. What surah I am learning after it? Right? After it. Al-Mudarris, ihfaz surat at-tini. Learn. So this is the command form. Ihfaz. Notice the command form, you have a sukoon on the last letter. Okay, ihfaz surat at-tini. Memorize surat tin. Khudh daftaraka. Khudh means is the command form of the verb akhada. Akhada, yeah, khudhu, khudh. Right? So this means to take. Right? Khudh daftaraka. Take your copybook. Daftar means copybook or notebook. So he's saying take your notebook. The ka is of course to indicate your. Khudh daftaraka. Take your notebook. Hada, this. Right? So he's saying basically he's handing it to him. Take this, your notebook. All right? Waktub, and write. Now remember, we didn't break down the command form of the verb, but basically just to mention here that the alif there is hamzatul wasl. Hamzatul wasl. So that's why if there's nothing before it, like at the beginning of this line, you have ihfal. See that? Ihfal. Right? Where the teacher is beginning this particular statement, ihfal suratatini. Learn suratin. So you see here, the alif, which is hamzatul wasl, takes the kasra. Okay? But as we see here now with the word uktub, we don't say the dhamma on the alif. That becomes silent because it is hamzatul wasl. So we go straight from the waw to the kaf. Okay? We say waktub, waktub. Waktub fihi, and write in it Surat al-Alaqi, and write in it. So take your copybook and write in it Surah al-Alaq. So they have to write out the surah. Okay? Ya Aba Bakrin, O Abu Bakr. Sorry. So he's telling Ali to take his book and write out Surah al-Alaq. Then there's a full stop there. See, after Surah al-Alaq, there's a full stop right here. Then he is speaking to Abu Bakr. So he says, Ya Abu Bakrin, O Abu Bakr, innaka, verily you, na'asan, you are sleepy. Verily you are sleepy. Idhab, go ila al-hammami. There's supposed to be a sukoon here, right? Idhab ila al-hammami, go to the washroom. Waghsil, and wash wajhaka, your face. Wash your face. Iftahin nawafida. So you have the verb here. Fataha, yaftahu, iftah. So the command is iftah with a sukoon on the ha. See that? There's a sukoon here. You don't see it, but there's supposed to be a sukoon here. However, we're seeing a kasra. Why is there a kasra here? There's a kasra here. Anybody could tell me why we put a kasra below the ha? And this kasra below the ha is normally only put when we are reading it, right? We don't really write it in here normally. But of course, you write it here so that we can see the proper way to read it. Okay? So the verb is the command verb iftah. Iftah with a sukoon on the ha. And the next word is an-nawafida. Alif, lam, noon. Why is the lam silent? Because the noon is a sun letter. So therefore we don't say al-nawafida. We say what? An-nawafida. Nawafida, and nawafida means windows. It's the plural of nafida, right? Nafida and nawafid, right? So because of the shadda and the noon here, right? Remember, shadda is really a double letter with the first one having a sukoon. That's all. That's what shadda represents. A double letter, the first one having a sukoon. So it's an, na, an, then the second noon would have the fatha, an, nawafida. All right. So there's a sukoon here, and of course, iftah ends with a sukoon on the ha. So you have two sukoons called clashing. So when you have two sukoons clashing, you have different ways to deal with it. In this case, generally for the command form of the verb, you put a kasra below the first sukoon, right? So we say iftahi, iftahin. That's why we say iftahin nawafida. Iftahin nawafida. Open the windows. Open the windows. Ya Abdullah, O Abdullah. فَإِنَّ الْغُرْفَةَ, because verily the ghurfa mazlumatun. Mazlumatun. Sorry, muzlimatun. Muzlimatun. It is dark, right? So you have the word for shadow is all right, forget the word for shadow, but the word muslima, it means dark, right? And then he says wal jawwa Wal jawa, jaw means the weather, right? The weather or the climate or the atmosphere, right? Wal jawa harun, and the weather is hot, or the atmosphere is harun, it is hot. Okay? So anybody don't understand any word here? Is it clear with everyone? The meaning? I said I was just going through the meaning, but I did end up doing some brief explanations for some of the words. All right. But we still have to go through the passage again to break down some of the sentences, right? So 1 second here. Sorry about it. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry about the disturbance again. Right. So is there any word that anybody doesn't understand in this passage? Anyone at all? Okay. So we're going to ask for anybody to read now. Right? We have 5 minutes again. We probably could take 2 people to read. Anybody wants to read? All right, so if nobody wants to read, for the last remaining 4 or 5 minutes, I just want to break down how we go about constructing the command form of the verb. All right. So I want you all to pay attention to the screen here. Right. What I'll do, you'll write a verb, let's say, kataba. Kataba. All right. Kataba. Right. This is a past tense verb. Okay. Then the present tense, we would say, would be yaktubu. All right. Yaktubu. Everybody can see that? Kataba, kaf, ta, ba. These are the root letters for the past tense verb, right? The present tense verb, we add the present tense prefix, right? Or the present tense letter. We call it harfu mudari'. Harfu mudari', or the present tense letter. All right, we said how many present tense letters we have that we add at the beginning of verbs. There are 4. Okay, what are they? The ya, the ta, the noon, and the hamza and the aleph. Right? So you have kataba, yaktubu, taktubu, naktubu, aktubu. All right? So this is half mudari'. So how do we construct the command form of the verb? We take the mudari' or the present tense and we just modify it slightly. How do we modify it? We just take the present tense letter, whether it is a ya, right, or a ta, as the case may be, right? And then we remove it and put the hamzatul wasl on the aleph. Okay, so let's just remove it here. All right. And then the last letter, we put a sukun. All right. So it's as simple as that. All right. So how do we get the command form of the verb? We take the present tense verb. Now hold on here. Put a pin in that there. Let's hold on. In terms of the command form, we only dealing with second person. Please recall, when we dealt with past tense, we dealt with what? First person, as the person speaking. We dealt with second person, as the person being spoken to. And then we dealt with third person, that is the person that is being spoken about, who is not present in the conversation. Okay? So first person, second person, third person. Right? So we have that for past tense. We have that for present tense. But when we're talking about command, we only have second person. We don't have any first person and we don't have any third person. Why? Because we cannot command somebody who's not present. We're not instructing somebody who is not present. The person, he or she or they, are not here to be spoken to. So therefore, how can you command or instruct or request from somebody who is not present? So therefore, there's no third person in the command form. Also, you can't command or request yourself. Right? So there's no first person. No first person, no third person. Only what? Second person. All right? So therefore, we have what? Second person, masculine singular, right? Or rather, right. So the command form is only second person masculine singular or second person feminine singular. Or second person masculine plural or second person feminine plural. And of course, we have the dual, but we didn't get around to looking at the dual as yet. All right, so it's second person masculine or feminine, singular or plural. All right, clear? So the command form is pretty easy to remember the patterns. All right, inshallah. So as I said, all we are doing is taking the second person present tense verb. We are taking out the present tense letter, which is the ya or the ta. Remember we said we add that in the present tense, taking out that and put in a what? Hamzatul wasl, which is represented by this aleph. All right. Of course, in the present tense verb, the first root letter normally takes a sukun, right? Kataba yaktubu, there's a sukun on the kaf. Taktubu, there's a sukun on the kaf. Okay. So the sukun is still there, no change there. All right. The middle letter still has the vowel. Kataba yaktubu, oktubu, oktub. So it's still the dhamma on the second letter. The last root letter now takes a sukun. Right? It takes a sukun for the masculine singular. All right. So you see those changes there. It's just at the beginning, it takes the hamzatul wasl and the sukun on the last letter. All right. Of course, when you're dealing with the plural and so on, then we will see some other things added on at the end here. Right? So like how you have ukutul, ukutulu, you have the waw al jama'a being added at the end. All right, so we will look at those things inshallah next week. All right, any questions before we close off? All right, so close off now. Dua for kafara and surah al-Asr. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله